Greetings and salutations, this is HUGH JARSZ, the world's biggest YouTuber. No one's bigger than me, unless you happen to be a building. I've been away for like 2 months, and I've been going through a traumatic removal of house. Well, not removal, but moving from one house to another. And it took me a while to get my computer set up again. I've got my work computer, of course, but I had to actually dedicate time to put this one together so that I could talk to you guys again and start making videos again, which I did earlier this week. I did a video on Taboo Conspiracy. He's doing a series on flat earth truths, which are nothing of the sort. Every single one of them is an utter lie, or at least a misunderstanding. And so I've decided to do a series to respond to him and point out where he's wrong. So you can have a look at those. Where did that come from? They're all, just go to my channel. I had my channel up here a second. Yes, there it is. I've got to remember. Oh, gee, it's been a while since I've done this. I've got to figure out how to do things again. There we go. I think that's showing. Yes, that's showing my channel now. So you can see here. This is the new video here. And I should be, what I'm planning on doing is releasing a video on Taboo Conspiracy at least once a week, because they're not very long. It doesn't take long to debunk them. It's always easy to debunk a flat earther, especially one as so deluded as Taboo Conspiracy. So I'll be doing that. So keep an eye out for that. Also, I want to do things that are a little bit more fun as well. So hopefully I'll be doing a second video every 2 weeks or so. That's a little bit more fun than just slapping a flat earther who doesn't know what he's talking about. And of course, I'll do a live stream here and there. So let's stop sharing. I've got to remember how to do that. Oh, there we go. Right. So, where's my run sheet? I've lost everything. I'm not unprepared, but I just need to get back in the swing of things. I haven't been on since Aaron Ra was my guest, and that was like 2 months ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I hope you enjoy the little Aaron Ra spits his coffee. And so certainly the people who looked at it seemed to enjoy it. So yeah, we also had lockdowns here in Brisbane for a little while, which mucked up plans. I was going to go to my niece's wedding in Sydney, but the lockdown in Sydney started while the wedding was in progress, well, announced while the wedding was in progress. So I decided not to go, given the Premier of Queensland was dropping big hints that things are going to be closed in New South Wales, and if I went there, I wouldn't be able to get back. And history shows that was a wise decision, which is a shame. I always like to, for family, I'd like to go and see the family and see what, especially for special occasions like weddings. But hey, that's life. Now, one more thing on the Taboo Conspiracy series. I would like as many people as possible to go over to his channel and post a link to my videos so that he's aware of my videos. I'd love to see him come up with a response, because I reckon that'd be hilarious, absolutely hilarious, because he's, you know what he's like. If you ever seen Taboo Conspiracy, you know what he's like. I'm just going to say hello to people in the chat. So hello, I saw Tusk in there earlier, but he doesn't seem to be on this list. But anyway, the Mexican Bob, one of my channel members. G'day, Bob. The Key Weasel. I wonder what country he's from. Charlie Welsh, always good to see you, mate. The Professor's here. How are you, Professor? And Facty. Don't be afraid to hit the like button. Well, why not? Hit the like button if you like it. There's more to come, of course. I've got a special surprise guest later on. Apart from the Naughty Aunty, who isn't quite ready to come on yet, but I'm doing my intro anyway. I've got a few things to go through. Jezza the Master Reviewer, another one. Oh, actually, no, the Mexican Bob isn't one of my channel members. You should fix that, Bob. Jezza the Master Reviewer is one of my channel members. I wonder what the future history books will make of this period of time. Well, it'll be the period of HUGH JARSZ, of course. That's what the history books will say. HUGH JARSZ came into the world's biggest YouTuber. Fred Bailey. Hello, Fred. Yes, he has an arse like an annex. Okay, whatever that means. Right, now what's the next thing I needed to cover? So yes, now everyone knows that I'm friends with Arctic Reflections, and he, last night, my time at least, he dropped a new video and for the first time showed his face. So let me do that. And there he is. A handsome lad he is. Looks very similar to his avatar with the beard and everything. I wish I could grow a beard like that. And God, he's skinny. You know, compared to me, he's really skinny. But yes, quite a handsome man. And I recommend you go over to Arctic Reflections channel and check out his videos if you haven't already. Particularly check out this one. He's the reason he showed his face is to indicate to Level Earth Observer, who calls him Cartoon Boy all the time, that he's not afraid to show his face, and yet Level Earth Observer is afraid. And I checked Level Earth Observer's channel this morning. There's no response video as yet, so I'd keep an eye out for that. It'd be interesting to see. Now, what's this message? Why has that come up? Don't know. All right, what happened to the chat? Monkey in the works. I thought you were a channel member, but you're in blue, not green. Interesting. Barry on. I have no idea what that means. My parents were killed in a dark alley by a like button. Ever since then, it's become... Oh, I get it now. Okay. All right. Yes, smash that like button. 21 watching, only 15 likes. What's the other 7 people doing? 6 people. And you hit it twice? No, don't hit it twice. Hit it 3 times. Sometimes it's just fun to watch the chat go past. All right. So another thing that happens at this time of year is, well, I tried to do it last year and I never got enough people. I was a much smaller channel then. I'm not exactly huge now as a channel, not as a person. And this year I put out the call for people. South America is the key to this. I've got people in Western Australia. South America is the key though, because there's not so many, what the hell? There we go. There's not so many people watching YouTube in South America compared to other parts of the world. So it's a little harder, and certainly fewer watching me. And so it's harder to get a volunteer. So this is the day and night pattern for right now. So you can see this is at 2200 UTC, which I guess is about now, roughly. You can see in Western Australia that the sun's up, but it's still reasonably dark. In Eastern South America, the sun is going down, but it should be reasonably dark because this line here is where sun actually sets, and these are the different stages of darkness. So in those spaces, you can still see the stars. And the whole point of the GOSH experiment, or observation I should say, is to be able to from both those continents on the other side of the world on the flat Earth map, see the same stars. And if that's the case, then it's definitely not flat. It's definitely not a disk anyway. So if I can get someone from South America to do that, I've got people in Western Australia who can do it for me, and then we can live stream that and show them looking at the same stars at the same time. And that's, I don't believe anyone's ever done that before. I mean, it's obviously possible. The issue is, as we go past the solstice, which was a couple of weeks ago, this gets harder and harder because the night gets shorter and the days get longer in the Southern Hemisphere as we move towards summer, and therefore we'd have to wait another year to be able to do it when the nights are long enough. It's only just doable right now, so maybe a week to go, and then it wouldn't be possible until for another year. So if you are from South America, or you know someone from South America, I would like to hear from you as soon as possible. and we'll see what we can do and see if we can get this done. And if you're watching this at some time in the future and you're from South America, let me know anyway on HUGHJARSZ1@gmail.com, and we'll set you up for next year. Because I think this is something that needs to happen. It certainly is conclusive proof that the Earth is not flat. And you got idiots like Sleeping Dumbass who says, "Oh, how are you going to prove it's where South is?" Well, you don't have to prove where South is. You just have to prove that they're looking at the same stars. And anyway, isn't South just the opposite of North? If you can establish North, you can establish South. So I don't know why someone as stupid as him comes up with that argument. But hey, that's him. All right, so we have. I've got the surprise guesses coming a little early. So I might bring you in a little while. Oh, we don't want to see that. I've got to stop sharing, don't I? Here we go. Oh, she's gone again. I wonder what the Naughty Aunty is doing. She was there. So I'm going to bring in the surprise guest. Hopefully the Naughty Aunty will come back in a second. Hello, Johnny O from the Plot Hole.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
All right, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
So I've got you here. The Naughty Aunty is a bit of a rock aficionado. She knows a lot about music and things like that. And you do quizzes on rock.
I do. I've got a few. I think I had a few curveballs for her. Got a couple of easy ones and then a couple of curveballs. We'll see how she does. Yeah,
so I thought I'd get you to try her out. She's just come back. So what I might do is I'll take you out of the stream and we'll introduce the Naughty Aunty and then we'll bring you back. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, mate. I'll talk to you a bit later. And welcome to the Naughty Aunty.
Good morning.
How are you?
How are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Ah, you're here to be naughty for us, are you?
I'm always naughty.
You're a little bit muffled.
Am I?
Yeah.
Excuse me, that's my morning cup of tea not working yet.
Oh, okay. It's got to kick in like a coffee for me. Well, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Let's deal with these idiots, shall we?
Well, that's the idea. We want to have a look at. We're going to do a tour de dumbass and have a look at a few lunatics. But what I thought I might do first, as you're someone who, to help us get to know you a little bit better, as you're someone who knows a lot about rock music, I've got Johnny O from the Plot Hole standing by. I'll just bring him in. Hello, Johnny O. Can you say hello to? Can you say hello to the Naughty Aunty?
Well, I've got some cantankerous animals in the background here.
Yeah, me too. Mine are going a bit silly outside. So are yours. Excellent.
Yes, it makes wonderful radio, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, hello, anyways.
Hello. Good morning. Hello.
So Johnny O is like you, Naughty Aunty, or should we call you Auntie? I think, shouldn't I? Or Naughty doesn't sound right.
No, just call me Auntie.
All right then. All right, Auntie. Johnny is also a rock aficionado like you are, and I thought I'd get him in to ask you a few rock quiz questions.
Oh no. Okay, fine. I'm not that good. Good Lord.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to answer most of the things he has. So, okay, Johnny, I'll leave it to you.
All right. I've got 10 for you. Some of these are going to be relatively easy. Some of these are a little more, how should we say, challenging. And as soon as these rascals in the background stop barking, we'll get on with this thing here. All right. Would you say you're more of a classical music fan or more of just a general music aficionado?
I like my 70s, 80s rock.
All right. Yeah. So I tried to keep everything into that 70s, 80s era there. So, I think you'll do all right. All right. So we're going to start off with a band called UFO. Who played drums for the band UFO?
No, sorry. No.
No,
Take a hard pass on that one.
I'm gonna take a hard pass. You're gonna take a hard pass on Andy Parker.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah.
All right, now here's a good one. Now this is a really good one for all of our Clapton fans out there. Who sat in on Eric Clapton's Layla album after meeting him at a Miami concert?
Oh. You know, I can see his face. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name.
Now he is part of a brothers group.
No. You know, I've only had like half a cup of tea. Don't you hate that when you can see a face?
Yep.
And you just can't get the name out of your head.
Are those brothers groups Australian by any chance?
They are not. They are not Australian.
No.
So not the Gibbs. Okay.
Not the Gibbs.
No, but okay, I'm gonna take a sorry, yes, it's a beautiful day today. Lovely sunny day. No, sorry. You're making me look silly.
Oh, that's all right. This was I figured you would have had this one here, but this was the brothers group was the Allman Brothers, and we're looking for Dwayne Allman.
I could see his guitar, I could see his hair. Should have. Yeah, thank you.
They did Jessica, didn't they? That's a Top Gear theme.
I believe so.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
All right. Here's an easy one. Now, as soon as I tell you that, this is an easy one. What band was inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame in 1994?
You know I'm an Aussie, right?
That's fine, but this is an easy one because it's the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Yes, that obviously makes it easier.
It does.
It is such a thing. Sorry. Okay.
Are there any famous Canadians? Justin Bieber.
Other than Bryan Adams.
I don't want you to rush to an answer. I want you to think about this one for a little bit.
1994.
That's when they were inducted in the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
So
did Canada even have electricity back then?
I don't think so.
No. So, oh God. It's like, no. Look, seriously, I'm an Australian girl.
I'm sure you've heard of the music group called Rush, though.
Yes.
Oh, Krieger's favorite.
Do you know what I was doing in the 80s?
Peyote.
I was watching children's television.
I see.
So you should have had a Wiggles question.
I should have put a Wiggles question in there.
I went. HUGH JARSZ is going to get a letter bomb in the mail.
Careful what you say. YouTube's a bit nasty that way.
All right, this is a good one. This is one of my favorite questions to ask people. Most people get this one wrong. Who wrote the song "All Along the Watchtower"?
Oh, it's Hendrix, isn't it?
Hendrix did do a cover version of it.
Oh, he did a cover version. Okay. I thought he did it first. I only remember Hendrix.
The answer is Bob Dylan.
Seriously. Oh, of course, Bob did it. Oh, yep. Bob did everything.
Bob Dylan did everything. Bob Dylan. See, this is what I tell people.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Yeah, anytime we ask a question about who wrote a song, you're safe with Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, what's her name? Dolly Parton, and there was one more, and I can't remember the name. But if you say one of those names, you're probably going to get it right. This one is probably outside of your wheelhouse, and we won't hold it against you for not knowing this one. Most Metallica fans don't know this one. But who was the first credited lead guitarist on Metallica's single "Hit the Lights"?
Oh no. See, I just hang upside down in Metallica. Yes. No,
this one is super obscure.
No,
this one, Lloyd Grant. Yeah, a Jamaican guitar player. It's kind of fun there.
I love Metallica, but I didn't know that one.
Yep, Lloyd Grant. Yeah. All right. So where was ZZ Top founded?
Oh, middle of nowhere.
Well,
No. No.
Texas is close, and I'll give you credit for that one.
Yeah. Oh, cool. It's outside Texas somewhere. I did see it. No, sorry. Texas is as close as I get. Sorry.
That's close enough. It's actually specifically Houston, Texas, but Texas is correct.
Okay. I got one.
Yay!
What instrument is Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull known to play?
Well, you got to say guitar, but it's probably not.
We'll go with not guitar.
So that's correct, isn't
Banjo?
it?
No, it's not a banjo. This one again. This is an oddball. It's flute.
Oh, okay. I was thinking stringed instrument, but okay. I was going to say mandolin, but
that would have been good too. Yeah. Which heavy metal trend thrived in England during the early 1980s?
oh, there'd be punk or grunge or
Euromatics.
one of those very ugly ones.
It's actually probably more late 70s, very early 80s, but it was a new wave of British heavy metal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you don't get this one, if we don't get this one, we can't be friends. Which famous 19
Oh, okay.
See, exactly.
Down, dog, down.
Who let the dogs out?
Apparently I did. Which famous 19 See, I can't even get the question out. They do not want me asking this question. Which famous 1984 American rock music mockumentary comedy film features a fictional British heavy metal band?
Surely you know this. I know it.
Remember, it goes to 11.
I'm sorry. When you said mockumentary, I kind of blinked out. Why do I know this? And I can't think of it. You help me out here.
You know this one.
The last name is there's two words. The last one is tap.
Oh, Spinal Tap.
There we are. This
I've
is
only had one
Spinal
cup of
Tap.
tea. This is Spinal Tap. Yeah.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
last,
Oh my gosh! Really?
this is the last one. This one.
Thank you.
This one is, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This one is both obscure, and we probably should know at least half of this one. Which American? This is actually a two-part question. Which American singer was born Vincent Damon Fernier, and how is English musician Ian Fraser Kilmster better known?
Oh yeah. The first name was
Vincent Damon Fernier.
You're making me look stupid because
Not
I
at
know
all.
who that is. I know who
No,
that
these are
is.
really hard questions.
I know who that is.
He now has a radio show.
Yeah,
He
that's
does.
Alice Cooper,
Very good.
and the other one is
How is English musician Ian Fraser Kilmster better known?
is that Howard Stern? No. Howie? No. No. It's not Sting. He's Gordon. No, sorry.
Think of the
Another one.
Ace of Spades.
Oh, it's Ace Frehley.
Oh, I
I
guess
don't
that
know.
would be the Ace of Spades. That would be. Yeah, I can see
No.
why you would say that. But no, the song Ace of Spades by a band called Motor.
Oh, Motorhead.
Lemmy Kilmster.
No, Lenny Kilmster, right?
Lemmy
No,
Kilmster.
sorry. God, hold on.
Well, you got like
It's too early.
two. You got two points out of 10.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh! Make me
Most
sound
people will get
really
0.
bad.
That's
Most people
true.
get 0.
Most people do get 0 on that one.
Oh my lord, I'm so bad.
No, not at all. We might get you to come back sometime, Johnny, and do an Australian rock quiz.
Yeah, I'm probably
I
better.
think the
at
only
the,
Australian rock band that I know this crowded house. And I don't even think
bet
they're
I
really
did.
Australia.
New Zealand.
I was gonna say I think they're New Zealand, but they emigrated from New Zealand to Australia.
Like all New Zealanders.
All right. So next time it's my turn to quiz you.
Oh boy.
Yes, I think we should do that. A rematch.
Yeah. See how many of mine you get. Yeah, righto.
That'd be fun, I think. We'll have to do that.
Absolutely.
Johnny, thank you so much for popping in.
For certain.
And this is the first time I've had the opportunity to congratulate you personally on making 2K.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you've done the work for that. That's for sure. I really respect that, and you've done really well. So, and you've got the rewards of the hard work you've put in. So, well done.
Well, again, thank you very much, and I'm glad to see that you're putting stuff back out. And you got busy there for a while, work and life and all that stuff. But it's good to see you back around.
It happens, yeah. But hopefully, we'll have a lot more fun in the next few months.
Awesome. All right, guys, take
Thanks
it
a lot for
easy.
coming over.
See,
Absolutely.
That was fun.
Cheers,
I'll
everybody.
see you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So, yes, I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I actually thought it'd be a bit easier than that, but they were really hard questions.
You managed it quite well, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But like I said, I'll give you a rematch to Johnny O. See if he knows what you know.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. Okay, so let's move on. So let's take the tour de Damas. And we're going to start with someone who is quite possibly... Oh, hang on. I've lost it. Where is it? I had it all set up, ready to go. Oh, there we are. Someone who is quite possibly the dumbest person on earth. I know if you've watched my channel, you've seen him before. And he made a $1 million challenge. And my friend Where's Wally answered his challenge, but the bastard won't pay up. So let's have a look at how Wally describes it. So many clicks. Here we go.
G'day everybody, Where's Wally here? Well, Danny, what did you do?
$1 million.
I hope your significant other is on board with this enterprise of yours. Okay, Danny has made some brave, if not super dumb challenge. Now, this one is going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience. So let's have a look, as Adam would say.
Let's have a look.
Okay, here's my $1 million challenge to any globe priest out there. You continually claim that autopilot programs in airplanes make minute adjustments for curvature and for Coriolis effect in flight.
So why fly a plane when you have an autopilot that can fly it for you? Meanwhile, you and the co-pilot are having a good old meal of the fish.
Not saying I know exactly how everything works. Pull the programming and point to the specific code, computer code, that proves the planes make these adjustments on their own. Go ahead, we're waiting.
Well, I'm happy you are waiting, but I dare say some plane companies might not want to give up their proprietary code. So I guess, Danny, you're thinking I'm making an excuse right about now, don't you?
I guarantee you what you'll do instead is come up with every excuse in the world why you can't or won't provide the programming and the code that proves your insane claims that the planes adjust for curvature and Coriolis effect.
Yeah, called it.
When there were no...
I'll just stop it there. So this is Daniel Pratt. That's an unfortunate frame I stopped it at.
Still sitting in front of his hot water service, yeah.
Yes, that's his significant other that Wally mentioned earlier. What's your first impression so far?
The man's an idiot. He's obviously sniffing too many fumes from the garage that he's sitting in, for starters.
And you picked that up with not even 2 minutes in, and you picked that up.
There's obviously too many chemicals down there.
Yes.
Yep.
Rotted his brain.
And obviously there's a lock on that door, so someone's locked him down there and he can't get back out.
Yep, his family, I suspect.
Yes.
There's only speculation, though.
I do love Wally's calm, cool demeanour when he's arguing with these idiots. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure Wally will be pleased to hear that. I can't get him to come on a live stream, but he'll be watching and listening. So,
I do love
all right, well,
Wally.
let's continue on. We're not going to play too much more because, you know, we don't want to copyright. Well, I'm sure Wally's not going to copyright strike me, but yeah, there's only so much we can take at one point of Daniel Pratt, let me tell you.
Mhm.
So let's just see, and then might skip forward to where Wally answers the challenge.
Computers on the first planes on Earth, and they flew around just fine, and not one of the pilots ever adjusted for curvature or Coriolis effect.
Or, now hear me out, Danny. Maybe they're doing those adjustments in the course of just flying the plane. Well, keeping it level, keeping it on course. What do you reckon?
And to that point, I dare you to get a pilot under the penalty of perjury and jail to testify that he makes adjustments when flying to adjust for the curvature of Earth or Coriolis effect of Earth's rotation.
Just one pilot to swear? That shouldn't be too hard. Now, do I know any pilots? Let me think. Who do I know? Who can I ask? Let me think.
Not saying I know exactly how everything works, so that all the other pilots
Or
on Earth
anything.
can laugh at him as he gets his ass thrown in jail because no such thing has ever happened.
Now, are you sure about Danny? Are you $1 million sure about that?
That's a crazy laugh.
Okay, now still down, Danny. Sending me $1 million will be hardly a laughing matter, you know. So let's do the second part of this challenge first. And bear in mind, I only need to do one of these two parts, as Danny has said in the title. Only one is necessary to win the $1 million. Thanks, Danny.
Okay, so no one in my audience will be shocked to find out that the best responses to the $1 million challenge of pulling the programming, the computer code that proves airplanes make these phantom adjustments for curvature and or Coriolis, the best response they can muster up is, you're not a pilot. We'll discuss that in a minute. Or you don't know how planes work. I worked around planes for 3 years.
So you worked around planes, eh? Well, I'm sure you did. But I can't imagine how mopping the hangar floor gives you any knowledge on just how autopilots function in a plane, Danny.
As far as me not being a pilot, what is it exactly that has deluded you globetardians into thinking a pilot is some sort of a...
Look at those crazy eyes.
Oh, I don't know. The thousands of hours of training, the studying, the constant reviewing of the skills, time in the simulators, the pressure not to kill hundreds of people, the women, the maths abilities, the memory required to do all those tasks. The brilliance of those at the top of their game. Outstanding, isn't it?
A monkey could be a pilot, almost literally.
Then how come you're not a pilot?
Danny,
Almost literally.
skill to be a top pilot. They are responsible for airworthiness of the plane even before they take off. Let's have a look at Wolfie doing the hard yards.
So being a pilot has plenty of ups and downs, and one of the responsibilities we have as a full-time corporate pilot is to check the tyre pressures on the aircraft daily. So that's what I'm doing now.
It's a great check. That one's good. That one's good. All right, so
Now,
what I'm
being
going
a
to
true
do...
professional, I check.
He just keeps kicking their other tires. You're not missing anything. I'm going to try and... I forgot. I should have checked this out earlier. I want to skip to where Wally answers the challenge. So I think this is it here. Ugh. That's a horrible photo.
Wouldn't want to
Because
wake
you
up to
know
that
they don't
face every day.
exist.
That crazy, crazy laugh.
Mr. Globe, superhero.
Wow, them's fighting words, Danny. Okay, so here we go. Part 2. The swearing. Let's do it.
I, Rob, known on YouTube as Wolfie6020, swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. With my hand now on the Bible, in recognition of NASA and all good and decent men on this earth, I swear that
And
my
women.
aircraft,
Doesn't
when
include
autopilot,
Danny Pratt.
is constantly making adjustments to maintain a desired pressure level, and by doing so, it is accurately following the curvature of the Earth at the rate of 1 degree of curve per 60 nautical miles. I further swear that during flight, the aircraft is also constantly making lateral corrections to maintain a precise ground track. These lateral corrections adjust for wind, aircraft aerodynamic imbalances, and the Coriolis effect. So help me God.
Okay, that was very well done. It's like he's done this swearing thing 1,000 times before. Oh, yes, mate, that's right. You're an ex-copper, ex-air crash investigator, etc., etc. You literally have done this 1,000 times before. Any other pilots care to swear to scare Danny with no hair? Do it just like Wolfie did. Leave the link and we'll pin it for Danny to see.
Wolfie.
I know exactly how everything works.
Okay, well, we've already completed the challenge by having a pilot swear to the facts of adjustments are made for curvature and Coriolis during flight, and that was all I needed to do for
$1 million.
Not saying I know exactly how everything works.
But what about that code thing Danny has been banging on about?
Actually contact the programmers to get the code that proves adjustments are made by planes.
Well,
I'm not sure why Danny Pratt couldn't do that. Why is it up to someone else to do it if he's the one that wants to find out about it? Save himself $1 million.
And not like they're going to give it up.
No, that's why he's made that challenge. He knows that that's not possible. You're going to get sued if you do, or put in jail because it's basically espionage, corporate espionage. So he always flirts to do this all the time. They make challenges that they know are impossible, and then they say, "Oh, you didn't do it, so therefore the Earth must be flat." Yeah, they're just idiots,
Oh, it's got to be one of the most uncomfortable faces to look at.
So yeah, Wally did the first one. Yeah, I want to get him off. Let's get rid of him. I've had enough of him. Wally fulfilled the first part of the challenge, and he only had to fulfill one part of it, and he also goes on to fulfill the other. And Danny Pratt just says, "You got to sue me for it now." Yeah, well, that's going to work.
Can't get blood out of a stone.
You mean his head is a stone? He's just
mud out of a rock. Yep.
Yeah, he's just a nut job. So
okay, next idiot.
Yeah, well, the next idiot is probably the most incredulous person on the planet. He doesn't believe anything that he doesn't like. Level Earth Observer. And while this week Richard Branson went up to space, not technically space, but enough to get 0 G for a lot longer than you can on the Vomit Comet, and Level Earth Observer was doing a live stream at the same time saying it was all fake while it was happening before his very eyes. So just let me get it ready because I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because he's a bit slow and boring.
I didn't know Branson was so clever he could host such a great hoax.
Yeah, well, I reckon it would have cost more money to hoax it than it would to actually do it. So let's watch Level Earth Observer's video. I'll have to break this one up because he could copyright strike me. But if we talk over it and break it up, that's fair use. So here we go. I'll go do that as well. And away we go.
So, does Richard Branson and his Virgin rocket spaceplane provide anything else other than the usual tosh we've gotten used to over the last 7 years? Let's have a look.
Wow. That's loud.
Yes, over I thought I just burst an eardrum for no reason.
I think it's just the music from space.com.
I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship.
Now I'm an adult in a high altitude zero G plane. Oh dear. Richard.
Well, he's technically correct there. It is high altitude plane, and because it's doing a parabolic flight from up there, it's zero G. They're all, negating the effect of gravity. So, so that's one thing he got right. But let's see what else he doesn't get right.
You're going to have to put more crackle in your voice, and you're going to have to add a bit more polish to this performance, because you ain't convincing anyone. Your pals in the background are just giving this nonsense away anyway. Look.
I love how he says you aren't convincing anyone, and yet the 99.999% of the entire planet were convinced. His ability to judge whether he's convinced someone's convincing or not isn't very good, is it?
But how can he give someone else's opinion? I mean, you can't give, just because he doesn't think it, you can't assume that everyone else doesn't agree.
Well, the way he does that is because he's intellectually dishonest. Let's continue on.
Oh dear.
With what rather wonderful adults looking down to our beautiful, beautiful Earth. For the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this.
I've got to pause it there, Richard. Just now we saw quite a large amount of curve. Now it would seem the Earth is concave. So clearly the curvature, what we're seeing here, whether it be extreme or concave, is clearly optical and not physical.
Or those are bubble windows.
It's a window, you number.
Yes, and because it's a bubble window, and because we're looking at it at this angle, it distorts what you're seeing, so it becomes concave. The whole spaceship is designed to take people up so they can see the view. So you're not going to have tiny little windows. They've got massive windows. It just they only think as far as
stupid.
It does. That's a great line. It hurts that people are so stupid. People like Level Earth Observer only think as far as what they like. They never think what actually is the truth. They come to
now
a
he's not
conclusion.
only thinking that it's flat, it's now concave.
Yes. Well, he's saying that it's fake because he can see concave rather than.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
But in other shots, you see clear curvature.
Yeah, of course. So he's not going to pick that bit to point out. He's only going to pick out the bit that looks wrong. Okay, keep going.
Yes, cherry picking. It's a flurf tactic. Not the best shot of Richard Branson there, but then again, with his money, who cares? He doesn't.
Otherwise, the curve we'd see from your pantomime plane would kind of relate to each other. Not 1 minute a small amount of curve, then the next minute a gigantic bit of curve, then the very next minute concave Earth. Clearly ridiculous, Richard.
Just imagine what you can do.
And then we go to that shot of curve, which, if my memory serves me correct, is about the same amount of curve James May cited from the U-2 spy plane at 70,000 feet. Ridiculous.
So, in other words, he hasn't done any measurement. He's just taken a guess from memory and come to the conclusion it was the same as, a third of the distance up. And that's his conclusive argument.
What I just want to point out, why are they wearing parachutes?
That's a good. Oh, I guess it's an emergency measure. I mean, this was the very first flight of this thing.
If I fell from that height, parachute's not going to do much.
Well, yes, if you went outside the spacecraft at this point, you wouldn't be able to breathe either. So you should really have a mask on.
So
They show the pilots later on; they got masks on.
Make you feel better.
Maybe.
It's a comfort thing. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I digress.
I guess if you're coming into land and something goes wrong with the plane, they've got the ability to bail out. But
sure.
I don't know. I'm just speculating.
It's just a glammed up zero-G plane. That's it. We've got good old Beth in the back there in her wide open, blown away pose she likes to use. Her mouth is always open here for these publicity shots.
You get the feeling that he's turned on by that?
Of course her mouth's open, you idiot. She's excited. She's having fun. It's called having fun.
Yeah, and she's in
Probably
zero
something
G.
you've never done in your entire life.
Better have your mouth open than your mind closed, isn't it?
She's having a ball up there. I would have done too. She's probably laughing and squealing. God knows, that's what I would have been doing.
Stringer News 1 in the chat says those aren't parachutes, they're CGI packs. Generating this all fake pantomime spaceship.
They're probably rocket launchers, you know, so that when they get out, they can do a, you know, like Rocket Man.
Maybe. All right.
As if to say, I'm blown away. But what we're seeing is just a zero-G plane and ridiculous visuals. Oh.
Well, like I said, it is a zero-G plane. You know, it's not orbiting. It's going up and then it's falling back to Earth. So zero-G. I don't know why he's making that point. It's kind of obvious and it doesn't add anything.
Notice that window trim there seemed a bit loose.
So what? The trim was a bit loose. Wow, it's fake. Crazy
Better
guy.
than the last one that didn't make it at all.
Yes, yes.
Blown away. I wonder if her jaw ached after this promotion. Here's concaved, everyone. You gotta love good old Beth. Constantly got her mouth open here for these publicity shots. I mean, who looks like that?
He's definitely turned on by her, isn't he?
Anybody having a good time, it looked like that. Idiot.
Yeah, he's desperate for anything to hang on to, isn't he?
Me looking out that window. I'm sorry, my mouth would be
A
Sorry?
blast. He's having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
He's just having a ball.
And I would too.
I would have just loved it. All that, and the view and the weightlessness, it would have been amazing. And just to be on the euphoric high up there would have just been, I would have laughed my head off. Would have been screaming and carrying on, better than any roller coaster.
So let's save up and we can go.
Yeah, sure. Yep, no worries.
I'm not sure why Flirts aren't queuing up to go, because then they could prove once and for all if it's flat or not.
I'll meet you at the airport. I'll be the one with the purple backpack.
Okay. CGI pack, sorry.
Yes, rocket pack.
Oh, Tuss says that Leo is right. You can't open your mouth in space, so that proves it's fake.
You can't have it. Watch me. You'll hear me from there.
open like that. Ridiculous, particularly given the fact the Earth looks again slightly concave.
And again, it was looking through the window that's a bubble shape, which would cause a lensing effect. But here, it doesn't look concave at all.
And then we come
Oh,
to
they're the pilots.
There they are. Motorbike hats, boiler suits, washing up gloves, and Spitfire breathing apparatus. But bearing in mind, just behind them, all the people we've just seen jumping about in their zero-G plane haven't got protection.
So would you ever wash up with gloves like these?
No. Washing up gloves.
And the whole point of this aircraft is, well, spacecraft, I guess, is to get people up to have a look at the view and have a bit of fun in the back. You don't want the pilots dying. So you give them masks and to make sure that they're always alive and they can get you down to a lower elevation if something goes wrong.
And I would assume that the capsule in the back where the people are going silly and playing silly buggers would be a separate capsule to the bit where the pilots are sitting.
Well, I think I can see Richard Branson here, if you can see where my cursor is, and there's a bit of netting between them so that, you know, they can't just sort of bump into them.
Oh, okay. So it's not a separate room like a cockpit type of.
No, I don't think. Well, I mean, it's still called a cockpit, I bet, but yeah, there was no need for security. If you're going to pay several $100,000 or even $1 million or whatever it is to go up on these things, you're going to know who you are and you're going to be fairly secure. I think.
I just thought it meant that they'd have a door there where these guys would be.
Yeah. Maybe it was just too hard to engineer that, or you know, they didn't feel it was necessary.
Okay, but still, I'd feel safe if my pilot stayed conscious the entire time.
Yes, and that's why they got the mask on, just in case there's a decompression or something. The Turtle Move says, "What did Auntie do that I have to inflict Danny and Elio on you?" So,
You'll never know.
Well, I just wanted to see how you react because you're fairly new to the community, and I want to see, you've seen these on my videos, so you are aware of them, but to actually see how stupid they are, it's a different thing. I wanted to get your reaction.
I have dealt with many, many idiots.
Yes. That's why I think you could be good at this. So let's see the last bit of the video.
The absurdity of all this. I don't think they've gone anywhere near as high as they say they have, just a bit higher than your average zero-G planes. And of course, given that, they get a little...
Well, that's disproved by the fact it took a long time. The maximum time you can get zero-G on the Vomit Comet is 25 seconds. 25 seconds. They were on this for like several minutes. So it definitely wasn't the usual height for a Vomit Comet. You needed that extra time to do those extra minutes.
Little bit more zero-G time. That is all this is. Just a zero-G plane, glammed up with a bit of space propaganda sprinkled on it. I'm very disappointed. I foolishly thought here that they might have upped their game and used this.
Elio foolishly thought, what a surprise.
He's terribly disappointed. Oh.
Something that would give the space fans something to be proud of. But no, they just dumped on the very people that have to defend this tosh. Oh dear, who would have thought? Utter fucking nonsense.
Oh,
language. And speaking of utter nonsense, he goes on with this.
And just before I go, here's the flight profile for a zero-G plane. And here's the flight profile for Richard Branson's.
Did you spot a difference? The
no.
first one actually had measurements and this one doesn't. So what's the point? How can he make a point? Idiot.
Oh, look at that.
It's exactly the same. Essentially, Richard Branson's space tourism charade is essentially a zero-G plane glammed up to go a little bit higher and provide a little bit longer in a zero-G environment.
So this is Branson's paraphernalia. What do you call it? This is Branson's
marketing material.
Why would he give details? Why would Branson put out specifics? Is the word I'm looking for?
If it was fake, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh.
Well, to fool you, of course.
Like, why would he give you specifics? It's just a pamphlet, you idiot.
And it didn't show heights or anything like that. He's saying it's a glamified zero-G plane. Well, at the moment, that's exactly what it is.
What it is. He wanted to beat Elon Musk and the other guy.
Yeah.
And damn it, he did.
Yep.
No.
But it's not just a little bit higher. It's a lot higher than a Vomit Comet. It's something like 6 times as high. So you get a lot longer at zero-G.
He's got money. He can do what he likes.
Absolutely. I think we've had enough of that. So
yeah,
come back to that.
Yeah, dumb. Okay.
Dumb.
It's official. The man's an idiot. Okay, next idiot.
He has been judged by the Naughty Aunty to be an idiot.
It's official. Put him in the naughty corner.
Yep.
No, I don't want to deal with him. No. I'll deal with you later, you twat.
Well, speaking of twats, I want to move away from Flat Earth for a little bit to the conspiracy surrounding 5G. And 5G is fifth generation mobile phone technology, or cell phone, they call it in America for some reason. Well, I know what the reason is, but everyone else in the world calls it mobile phone, the English-speaking part of the world anyway. So there in England, from Newcastle, is a guy called Mark Steele. And you thought Daniel Pratt was a nutter. This guy is the 5G Daniel Pratt. Let's see. Yes, let's see a bit of him in action in Copenhagen when he was giving a speech in the square there.
The battlefield interrogation system. It's one of the reasons why a significant number of troops on the battlefield are suffering neurological disorders and commit suicide when they come back from battle space, because these patterns, the beam waves, an antenna, and what it does, it actually sweeps the ground. This technology is illegal, it is unlawful, it is in breach of the Nuremberg Code. John mentioned before about the breach of the Nuremberg Code. They cannot bring an experimental technology and deploy it on your streets without your full consent. There'd be no consent, nobody knew. We've got LED street lights in Gateshead with 5G technology attached to it. We've got children bleeding from the nose. We've got people being sick. We've got people dying. We've had a 23% increase in stroke since the deployment. Nobody wants that technology. It is
I'm speechless. What?
Not a mobile device.
That's only a minute in.
Oh my God. What is this man on?
Yes, and can I have some, please? Whereas Daniel Pratt's relatively harmless, this guy is getting quite a following, and there's so many people who think 5G is going to kill us all, but no one ever explains why they're trying to kill us all or how it works.
5G in the street lights making children's nose bleed.
Yep, that's what he said.
That's a complete idiot.
Well, the thing is, if it is some sort of weapon system, it's not very effective. I mean, it's not like, you'd think you would have noticed the population decreasing.
Can we have 5G in the street lights here? My phone doesn't work very well.
Well, exactly. The thing is, the craziest theory, I'm not sure Mark Steele says it, but the craziest theory is that 5G gives you coronavirus. And the funniest thing is, people get coronavirus in places where there isn't any 5G.
5G. Oh, no, I really want 5G in the street light out the front because my mobile phone doesn't work very well where I live. So I would really like it out the front.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he doesn't have it. Not only does he want to corrupt the people where he lives, he goes overseas and does it over there too.
Yes, I think he's someone who's failed at everything he's done. He's gone to jail and things like that. He shot a woman.
She
and
really didn't understand 5G then, did she?
Well, it was before 5G. Hello, Tony Regime. I see you in the chat. And he gets attention for spouting out bullshit about this. So
he's got
that's what he does.
Microphones. He wants to. I mean, Pratt's dangerous because he has a YouTube channel, but you can just turn him off. Sits in his dungeon and talks to his hot water heater. But this guy's standing in the middle of a public square talking on microphones where we can't get away from him. I should unplug him.
And I think it's weird that
stand.
I think it's weird that he's gone to Copenhagen to do this because don't they speak Danish there? I know most Europeans speak English quite well, but it seems.
Obviously,
why can't he?
He's been run out of town. He's just running out of places to go and annoy people now. So
well, possibly
further afield.
Yeah, this is a fairly old video, though. I think it's a couple of years old now. But yeah, so from 1 minute of this video, you've got a good idea of how crazy he is. And I don't want to just sort of say this guy's crazy. I want to sort of explain why he's crazy.
There's more. At least he's better looking than Pratt. He's not as scary looking. Okay.
Well, no, this guy's in another. This is MC2.
Oh, hello. No wonder you're better looking. Okay.
Yes. He actually knows what he's talking about. And he'll explain some of the ways that Mark Steele goes wrong. We'll just watch a bit of this.
Hello, I'm MC Toon. Today I'm going to show you a video of Mark Steele as he goes Karen during a city council meeting. Now, if you don't know who Mark Steele is, he's an anti-5G scammer. Yeah, he scams people by scaring them and getting them to join his farcical political party for just a small monthly fee. Now, he claims to be an expert.
Very expert.
Okay, he claims to be very expert.
Very, very expert.
Fine. He claims to be very, very expert, but he's not. Specifically, he's not an expert in electronics. How do I know that? Well, he said it.
I'm not an electronics expert.
Yeah. And he's also not an expert in microwave radio transmissions, because he said that too.
I'm not an expert in microwave radiation emissions.
Yeah, see, which is it? Are you an expert or not? Let's go with not. You know he's not because, well, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll see where we thoroughly embarrass him through a whole bunch of different videos and pranks we pulled on him, including feeding him some fake documents that he thought were totally real. And even after we told him they were fake, he still told people that they were real. Yeah, he did that.
And there is a document, which is called the IEE document, which we referred to. And if I quote a document, by the way.
So at this city council meeting, they're talking about installing a new mast. I'll skip over all the technical details and we'll jump right to where Mark Steele starts giving his talk.
Can I now ask Mr. Steele again? Mr. Steele, if you could address the committee, you will have 2.5 minutes to present your case to the committee. And once again, the clerk will inform you when you have 30 seconds remaining. Thank you, Chair. 5G is not 4G. 5G is not an upgrade to 4G. It is the antenna design. What people haven't been told, I'm a weapons systems expert.
Yeah, did you catch that? He just said he's a weapons systems expert.
I'm a weapons systems expert.
Yeah, he does say that he's a weapons systems expert, but we also know that he's not a weapons systems expert. And the way that we know that is because he did work at a place that maybe had some interaction with some weapon systems in the 80s when he was in his 20s. Certainly no level of expertise was gained there as the entry level guy in some system, whatever it was. But then in 1993, he made the paper. He was in the newspaper, and in that newspaper, he was described as a fitter, which would not be a weapons systems expert job.
No.
The reason why he was in the paper is because he shot a girl in the head. Now, he lives in England, and in England, in the 90s, you're not supposed to have guns. And he had a gun, and he was shooting it, you know, for fun or something, and he hit a girl in the head. So he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. So there's certainly no way that after being in prison, he had any experience with weapons systems. So
you were going to say, Sweet?
It said doorman jailed.
Yeah, that was the job he had.
Yeah, so he wasn't a fitter, he was a doorman.
Or maybe he fitted doors, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue on.
So we know he's not a weapons systems expert. When you ask him about his credentials, he won't give them. When somebody won't give their credentials, there's something fishy going on.
Have any.
These technologies were developed for the defense industry to attack enemies on the battlefield. This is not a telecommunications upgrade.
And that's a blatant lie. He doesn't know anything about this topic. As he said, he's not an expert.
I'm not an expert in microwave radiation emissions.
I'm not an electronics expert.
Yeah, he's talking about 5G. And in order to be an expert in 5G, you need to be an expert in electronics and microwave radio transmission, both of which he's admitted to not being an expert in. It was not developed by the military. It is a nominal upgrade to the 4G network. It is simply amplitude and frequency modulated, low power radio. That's it.
The antenna design can be up to 100,000 times more powerful than a 4G antenna. 4G antennas radiate inverse square law. 5G antennas focus the radiation.
Now, I don't know if he's senile or if he's just lying, but this isn't true at all. There is nothing about 5G that requires that the antennas be anything specific. They can be the exact same antennas as 4G. He does think somehow, though, that there's a difference and it's a requirement. It's not. So that's a problem. Now, he also said that 4G uses inverse square law and 5G does not. Somehow he thinks that the laws of physics don't apply to 5G. In fact, they do just the same. He talks about focusing things here. He just doesn't understand it.
Now, you'd be told by IGNIT, etc., that there's no damaging effects from non-ionizing radiation. That is false. Non-ionizing radiation is used in lasers to cut stainless steel. Anybody that thinks that non-ionizing radiation that is focused in a beamwave is safe is being given a false egg. It's not correct.
So yeah, he did just say that. I know what you're saying. Can he actually believe it? No, he probably doesn't. He probably does. He probably doesn't. I can't make up my mind. He's certainly doing it to scare people so that he can get, more monthly donations to his farcical political party. But no, high power optical radiation, which is a laser, which is very, very focused, and low power radio waves from 5G, which can be somewhat focused, but not very much, is nothing analogous at all. He's scaring people, but please send money to him every month, right?
Public Health England has stated.
All right, I think we've had enough of Mark Steele.
The level of dumbassery is just mind-boggling. I mean,
yes, I'm sorry for that.
People who subscribe to that theory are obviously in great need of medical assistance.
And yet they're out there with us every day, posting on Facebook and Instagram and everything.
It's a medication. So
and this is why
supply.
And this is why I have this channel. If this sort of stupidity becomes mainstream, heaven help us all. And the only way we can avoid, because people will come to conclusions. We are in an age where we have more information than we ever have before. Problem is the vast majority of people have no idea how to analyze that information and critically assess it as whether it's true or not. And that's why you get these nutters who just pick up on anything. They get some attention, so they do some more of it, and they get more attention. They start to make money out of it. And, you know, sooner or later, they start swaying a lot of people. They might get to the point where they sway enough to get some power, real power. And that's got to be stopped. We can't have a society for our children that's like that.
People who send money to idiots like this just need to smarten up. People who have money to spare to send to people like that, obviously, just as dumb. I just mind-boggling. I just can't believe that people part with their hard-earned cash to people who are obviously deluded and delusional. And anyway, next.
Yes, but apparently, you know, people like you and me have much better critical thinking skills, but we can't point that out to these guys. So the next guy is another Mark. His name is Mark Sexton. He's a retired police constable. At least that's what he says. I don't know how you retire at the rank of constable after having a career in the police, you know. Was he a constable for 30 years?
Do you retire or do you get retired?
Well, who knows? This was from SciManDan, so thank you to SciManDan. Oh, thank you to MC Toon, by the way. What did you think of MC Toon?
Yes. I love MC Toon. I could listen to him all day.
Yeah, I love. I mean, you love it for a slightly different reason, but I love it. The way he puts his arguments are just so clear and well informed, and you know, you could tell that if you did any research whatsoever into what he says, it'd all come up 100%. So yeah, I just love MC Toon. He's great. SciManDan's not bad either, but Mr. Sensible helped out SciManDan, and I'm just going to play Mr. Sensible's bit on SciManDan because that's the key bit about a bit like MC Toon and showing up. If you look into it in any depth at all, you see that it's all crap, and that's one thing that these conspiracy nutters never do. Like I said earlier, they look as far as they find something that they like, and then they stop. But if you've got to do more than that, you've got to go down all the paths, and then you form your opinion. Don't form your opinion and look for information that suits it. It doesn't work that way, or it doesn't work very well that way.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Mark Sexton is the idiot. Let's hang on, just let me get that up. I'll put the speed up to 1.5. I think that should be quick enough. And let's share screen. This is always the boring bit. There's so many clicks to get to the point where I can show you the screen. And there we go. Let's have a listen.
I reported this to the police. They in turn forwarded this onto Special Branch to investigate. I deem this to be a targeted terrorist attack.
I'm going to stop at this point and focus on what he said there, the Slovakia report. So I looked at his Facebook page and I downloaded this Slovakia report and I sent it to Mr. Sensible and I said, find out what you can about this, buddy. And he did not disappoint.
Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese.
Cheese.
Sent an email.
Never mind that. What did you make of it, matey?
A really nice paper aeroplane. Or I could just do some research. This is a most unusual document. Analysis of test sticks from surface testing in the Slovak Republic, confirmation of genocide. Doesn't really look like the title of a scientific paper to me. There's no authors listed and no abstract either. It says this analysis took place in an unnamed hospital laboratory from Bratislava. Ooh, conspiracy already. And that the swabs were from sets used in surface testing. From this information, it is clear that test sticks are a criminal tool of genocide in the population of Slovakia. A worldwide, thoughtful and carefully prepared event. Again, this is not reading like any sort of scientific paper that I've ever seen. The idea of this paper is to convince us that hollow fibers get broken when you take your tests and they release DARPA hydrogel and lithium.
COVID test he's talking about.
Robots. So we got some very, very fuzzy photographs. In this case, it's supposedly cotton wool under a microscope and broken fibers which would leach DARPA hydrogel and lithium. Here's a close-up of a broken fiber and DARPA hydrogel content balls, and one that's been mechanically manipulated and so releasing this alleged hydrogel and lithium. Then we've got DARPA hydrogel beads that the content.
So they're giving you lithium in your COVID test, are they?
Which have terrible moire patterns on them, so you can't really see what they are, of supposed DARPA hydrogel. So supposedly crystallization after 20.
Sorry, what was that?
Are they giving you lithium when they give you a COVID test?
Well, that's the accusation, yes.
Sorry.
So we'll see what Mr. Sensible comes up with.
24 hours, they're growing into a 3D spatial structure and grow through the tissues. I had a look for DARPA hydrogel crystals and found nothing. Hydrogel, though, is a real thing. Hydrogel is a cross-linked hydrophilic polymer that doesn't dissolve in water. It's absorbent and yet maintains well-defined structures. Basically, you can think of it as a squishy scaffolding that you can put in medicines or whatever, which would then be released over time. DARPA hydrogel crystals grow under the microscope in the direction of the magnetic field. They're actually growing in all directions here, so your own photograph has debunked you. And it says the pineal gland creates a locally stronger magnetic field than the Earth's external magnetic field. Well, the pineal gland is sensitive to magnetism. It's not magnetic itself. Think of homing pigeons that can find their way home due to the Earth's magnetic field. Again, DARPA hydrogel crystals. I've seen nothing about hydrogel crystals other than in this paper. Apparently, the saliva destroys it. So not much point getting hydrogel into someone's body if their bodily fluids can actually destroy it, is there? There is no citations for these photographs. I did reverse image lookups on these photographs and found nothing because they only apparently appear in this PDF file. Now, this is interesting. Apparently, this is going to show the effect of DARPA hydrogel on human blood cells. And these are normal live blood cells. And then when you add DARPA hydrogel from a test rod, it results in the total massacre of red blood cells. I don't think that total massacre is the sort of phrasing you'd use in a scientific paper. Let me get the summary. Crystals can receive a signal from the transmitter to the cell and transmit signals from the cell to the transmitter. They're actually nano antennas. Evidence for that, please? The pineal gland produces serotonin, a hormone of happiness. It's crucial for high brain activity, creativity, foresight, sixth sense. I don't see many scientists talking about sixth sense. This seems like a document of woo to me. We then show this scary picture of a beetle with some form of electronics attached to it. Now, this actually is a DARPA project. They've looked into what has been scarily called cyborg insects, where you can control insects, direct their flight paths for military uses.
Oh,
and I too welcome our insect overlords.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. And you know how I feel about bugs.
Okay, well, I'll continue on then. There's not much longer to go for Mr. Sensible.
It's not injecting them just with hydrogel and then you've got total control of a little robot. Then the document talks about vaccines containing DARPA hydrogel, lithium, and patented genetic information. Well, I've checked the ingredients of both the Oxford AstraZeneca and the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. There is no hydrogel in them and no lithium either. And while we're at it, there's no formaldehyde, aluminium, or thimerosal in it either, ethyl mercury. The dream of the dark forces around Bill Gates is to force these mutants, for example, by vaccination, to regularly update as a computer program. Yeah. We are definitely talking conspiracy nuts here. How many scientific papers are you aware of that have PS in them? And lastly, links. Well, I checked out all the links. One went to an unsafe site. Many of the links were dead. Other links went to random articles about the usages of hydrogel and lithium. Nothing was of concern. No direct source for this document is quoted. So I had a look at the metadata for the PDF, and it names the author as Sri Visvamitra. So I looked him up. Thankfully, with such an unusual name, it was easy to find the guy. Here he is, Sri Visvamitra. Apparently he earned a BS in mathematics and physics from Central Missouri State University. This is definitely the right guy. As I reported recently, there are many people noticing their bodies become magnetic after receiving the injection. Now we have microscopic evidence that red blood cells are being damaged by the injection. Yeah, this is definitely the right guy. I did some further digging around trying to find the source of the document. Analysis of test sticks from surface testing in Slovak Republic from the Goloka project. Looking at that, Goloka sanctuary communities, who do we have? Our old friend Sri. It's all tying up. And further digging around their websites, returning to Goloka, let's just double check. Yep, we got Sri there. And what do we have? The Great Global Deception, Earth Curve Calculator, and Flat Earth. Oh yes, our old favourite gateway conspiracy theory. So at the end of my investigations, I think I can conclude that that document is nothing but assorted guff, made up tripe, and a load of woo. Dan, back to you.
Well done, Mr. Sensible, I say.
It probably took him all of 10 minutes to figure that out.
Yes, well, like I said, these people that believe this crap don't even bother looking, do they?
Oh my goodness. So when we get a COVID test, we're being injected with, they're sticking lithium up our noses so that when they give us the COVID vaccine, we're getting some kind of, sorry, I was laughing so hard. I didn't pay a lot of attention.
You weren't the only one.
What are they putting in us? Oh, nanotechnology so that they can mind control us. Is this right?
Apparently.
I've got some anti-vaxxers will be really happy to hear that conspiracy. Ah, my goodness.
Well, that's
So
what
is
Mark
it in the
Sexton's all
flu
about.
vax too? Is it in the flu vax too, and in the polio vax and all the other, the measles, mumps, and rubella vax and all of that, or just the COVID vax?
Well, COVID vax is all Mark Sexton is claiming, but he was saying it's a terrorist attack.
Oh, it was it. Sorry. So did they invent COVID so that they could then give us the COVID vax
Yes, that is part of the theory.
Oh,
It came out of a lab in Wuhan.
Oh, goodness. They went to a lot of trouble, didn't they?
They build these little constructs. If they spent half their creativity in actually finding out the truth, like Mr. Sensible did, they wouldn't be bothering with all this nonsense.
I do like the bugs though with the backpack, the
chip on its
electronic, the chip on its head. That's awesome. I wonder if Mortine will kill them. If the bug spray will kill them.
It should, yeah.
The floor.
Good night, Gary Hollingsworth. Thank you for joining us.
Night.
Good night.
See ya. Bye.
And I've already said good night to second best Bob. I think he's gone already. All right, so we're going to a lesser known nutter. This guy goes by the name Shills.
Disappointed.
He goes by the name Shills versus Shills, and quite frankly, he's a disgusting individual.
Okay.
And I'm only going to play 30 seconds of this because I had to think long and hard about presenting this, and you'll see why in that 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But it's quite disgusting, and it just shows what horrible human beings these people are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their motivation is. They seem to be saying, "Oh, they want to save us all from the conspiracy," and yet they demonstrate how horrible they are. And we need saving, and really we need saving from them. And that's what my channel's about. So I'm not going to put sound on it because he's got copyright music on it, idiot. But let's just read the words that he puts up. He's obsessed with transsexuals too. So that's why it's so disgusting.
Uh-huh.
And Tyson Fury is apparently a boxer. I've never heard of him, but that doesn't really matter. Just so 30 seconds of this horrible stuff.
Good grief.
I think that's enough. The guy's a boxer, and he thinks he's feminine.
Maybe
just revolting, isn't it?
Should meet him in a dark alley, and he can prove to him what kind of boxer he is. He's got a pretty face because obviously he's a really good boxer.
Yes, perhaps. Yes, I hadn't thought of that one.
He's a really good boxer. No one else can get near him, you dumbass. Sorry.
I've had a super chat from Andy Sibley1, one of my channel members. Thank you very much, Andy Sibley1. And he says for £4.99 too, so that's pretty good. Thank you. He says, I think the naughty auntie will need to have a long lie down in a dark room after being subjected to so much derp.
Yes, I think so too.
At least another cup of tea, I think.
Oh, yes. Cup of tea. Maybe a cup of tea with a hint of scotch in it.
Or just forget the tea.
Yes, just forget the tea, go straight to the scotch. I think my phone's going to need cleansing afterwards.
Yeah, get some disinfectant on it.
Yeah.
Just from all the stupid that we're getting. It's, yeah. You think it's bad me showing it to you. I had to wade through a lot more than this to come bring it to you. So yeah, my brain needs antiseptic too.
Need a cleansing. Okay, next.
Yes. I've only got two more idiots to show you.
We can find more.
Well, the plan was to have Johnny O's Rock Quiz at the end to try and have a bit of fun to cleanse us a bit.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, by the way. Yeah,
but we got the times wrong. So
how silly I am. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah,
no, you're not silly.
Baby.
No, it was a very tough quiz. Well, we'll get Johnny O on, and you can do a quiz. We can do that next live stream if you want.
I'll think about it.
You're already thinking of questions, aren't you?
Let's see how much he knows about Aussie music.
Yeah. Well, he said he only knew about Crowded House, which isn't Aussie music. So.
Well, he's swatting now as we're talking.
Yes. All right. So let's see the next idiot who is flat out hero. And there he is. he
Oh,
did
good
this.
Lord. He doesn't want
He
his
made-
identity known, clearly. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yes, he's like Superman, puts on glasses and no one knows
Yeah,
who
no
he
one
is.
knows who he is, yeah.
Yeah. He made MC Toon famous, basically. MC Toon, he did this $100,000 challenge, I think it was. And to prove that the Earth is flat is what to disprove that the Earth is flat by showing that flight charts don't show a round Earth. And MC Toon proved that it did. And, but he didn't pay up, of course.
Of course not, because he doesn't look like he's got two nickels to rub together, as they say.
Tony Regime says he likes Aussie music. Spidered Bait are awesome.
Yes, Spider-Man, yeah.
Anyway, so flat out F-tard is what Keith Newton calls flat out hero. So yeah, he's such a hero that he makes a promise and doesn't live by it. So
Black mark on the wall behind him. Is that where
he punched the wall, I think.
someone's been chucking shit at him? I mean, stuff at him.
Greetings, Daryl M., one of my channel members.
Hello. Welcome.
Uh,
Nice of you to join us.
Oh, Mental is Anything. Yeah, that's a great band.
Yep. Oh,
I grew up with him.
Greedy. Lost Greedy
Yeah.
not so long ago. Greedy Smith, lead singer of Mentals.
Yeah. See, she does know about music.
Martin Plaza, who's the guitarist.
Yeah, they named a street after him in Sydney.
Kind of think it's the other way around, but okay.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes, he changed his name to be the same as the
Oh, okay. So let's let's see what Flat Out Hero has to derp for us.
Mm-hmm.
What up? I got a question. I know I got a lot of them.
I bet you do.
If the atmosphere is spinning with Earth, how is the Coriolis effect creating headwinds? If you're going to claim that the headwinds are created from the Earth spinning underneath the atmosphere, then the atmosphere is not spinning with Earth.
Does it hurt, honey?
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, my face farming is nuclear.
So which is it? Is the atmosphere spinning with the Earth? Or is the Coriolis effect created by the Earth spinning underneath the air? Figure it out.
So that's what's called a straw man. Just before we go on, welcome, Dr. Osiris. You've just become a Jarsole, a new channel member. Thank you very much for that. And I see you getting into the emojis. I see Artie and Brera there, and the word salad cream, and HUGH JARSZ, and the flat Earth. So awesome. That means I've got 14 channel members. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
And Keith Newton missed me, so I don't know how you can miss me, seeing I'm so big. But anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So what else we got in the chat?
Time. Yeah. Sorry, that's just too funny. Too funny.
Yes, Tuss says Duffo, Rise in Your Levi's is the best song to ever come out of Australia. I don't think I've heard that one. And another new channel member, Stringer News 1. Thank you very much, Stringer News 1. I've been seeing you ever since I've been on YouTube, so I'm stoked to have you as a channel member, as I am for Dr. Osiris. Awesome.
Oh, dear.
Oh, okay. Dr. Osiris was a member before, but he really has money on his car, but it needs to renew. Yeah, I know what you know the feeling. Know the feeling. Yes, and we got the emojis happening. If you're a channel member, put in some HUGH JARSZ emojis. It'd be good to see that. Show everyone else what they're missing. All right. So yeah, Flat Out Hero. He's basically demonstrating why flirfs just don't get it. Really, they don't understand. They don't understand reality. So they make up stuff about it and then argue against that. No one says the Coriolis.
Great deal of pain. Great deal of pain, man.
Yes.
Great deal
Oh,
of pain.
my brain is very
really,
tender.
really hurts. His dumb. That level of dumb is very painful.
Yes, yes. It's you've heard of wormholes where space is compressed. Between his ears is a wormhole. So yeah, that's why the real information about reality goes in one ear and just comes out the other. It doesn't stay for
Well, it's
a
because
holiday
they
or
don't
anything.
have enough sponge between their ears to absorb, real information. They just make stuff up. Oh, I've disappeared, have I?
No, you're there. No, you're there.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
I can see you.
My screen just went blank.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
sorry,
I can see you.
Carry on, like
Yeah. So, yeah, that's called a straw man, where you make up something about what your opponent's saying and then attack that. In this case, he was saying Coriolis creates headwinds. Well, no one says that because the Earth spins underneath the atmosphere. No one says that.
He thinks that because the atmosphere stays still and the Earth spins inside it, that's where we get wind from.
That's
So
what
we'd
he's
only
thinking, yes.
We'd only get it in one direction. We wouldn't get southerlies, northerlies, easterly winds, and it wouldn't
Exactly.
change directions ever.
And the atmosphere moves with us anyway. And it's affected by temperature and convection and things like that, but it
I know. Yeah,
mostly
but-
moves with us. So it's he just, like I said, it's a straw man. He's attacking something that doesn't exist and saying he's got to win, which is ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm going to need 2 scotches. Yep, next.
Yes, scotches. So let me just prepare the next one. I'm going to mute it because he's also got music on it.
Okay.
So this is from a guy called Rude Earther. And
Rude Earther.
yeah, he's a
Old well.
virulent little guy.
Little
And
person.
well, little YouTuber. Why are people asking about a JARSZ? That's my name. Why are you talking about backsides? I don't understand. In the chat, that is.
Yeah, I get that.
He knows all about wind. Yes, I do. I've started a few hurricanes all by myself.
Yep, and he's not joking.
No. All right, so let's have a look at Rude Earther talking about chemtrails, or what he thinks are chemtrails.
Oh.
And there's no sound because he's got music playing, so we don't want to get copyright strike for music.
Yeah, understand.
So he says these are chemtrails. Don't know how he knows they're chemtrails as opposed to contrails.
Some of them are just clouds.
So this is a good one. He's this is obviously at sunset, so the sunset colours are coming out in the contrail.
Yeah.
But to him, that looks like they're dumping a whole lot of chemicals into the atmosphere. At least I assume.
And they are.
Yes, they're dumping dihydrogen monoxide, as Stringer News 1 says. Oh, did I miss a member?
Just for you.
No, that's Stringer News 1. Okay.
It's a
Skids
fuel
Crasher. No, it's just contrails. It's
No, I
hot engines pumping out hot air into colder air. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
You know how you.
It's part of his conspiracy. It's dumping pink
It's all a
fuel
plot to make us
right over
paranoid.
your house
Mm.
just to get you. Mwah. Oh, that's pretty.
Thank you, Skids Crasher, for the US $2 super chat. Thanks for the content. Keep up the great work, you say. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that. And the super chat.
Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe it's just steam. No, it's not steam. It's condensation. Different thing. Steam is boiling water.
Oh, but you
Uh,
can't fix dumb.
You can with a
level of
sledgehammer.
dumb- That level of dumb is just permanent.
It's kind of like that, isn't it? I mean, speaking of dumb, I wonder if I can get that up.
Hmm.
Hang on. But the thing about the contrails thing, first of all, it's obviously condensation, not chemicals. I mean, what's the difference the chemicals are making? And second of all, the people who decided to put the chemicals into the atmosphere from planes, they're in the atmosphere as well. They live in the atmosphere like everyone else. So aren't they affecting themselves with the same chemicals? And not to mention, where are the planes storing the chemicals? I mean, planes have got to be light as possible. They're not going to take on extra stuff for no reason, because that costs fuel and it makes it harder to fly. It just so, you know, counterintuitive that yet they stick with it for some reason. Well, apart from the fact that they're idiots, I guess that's the reason.
And if they're dumping fuel, like on their way past, they're not going to make it to where they're going to.
That's right.
And come straight back down again. You're going to have a lot of plane crashes in your backyard.
Exactly. Yeah. So just want to. So no more videos, but I do want to share a couple more things which I thought were interesting. There we go. Read this.
I don't know how much more my brain can take.
Well, there's not much more.
All the planets themselves.
Do you spot the flaw in this logic? You're a bit muffled, sweetie.
I'm reading to myself.
Okay.
Because there's so many words, pseudo, it's just all ancient mythological gods.
Just in case people are looking at this on a phone, they can't read this very well. I'll read it out.
Yes, thank you.
Hello,
I'm looking
Globers.
at it on a phone.
Yes. Well, exactly. Hello, Globers. Did you know that virtually all the planets in the solar system are named after ancient mythological gods? Doesn't it make you wonder why? I imagine it's because the heliocentric model is a reframing of old belief systems fitted into a modern pseudoscientific context. And it's signed PD, aka Sol. I don't know who they are. But there's a flaw in that logic.
Yeah.
Can you spot what it is? Well, the flaw is the planets were named by the Romans, so 1500 to 2000 years ago, and the heliocentric model started with Copernicus 500 years ago.
Oh, well, there you go. I knew that.
So he's saying a reframing of old belief systems, but the heliocentric model isn't about the god Jupiter and Saturn and things like that at all. They were just the names of the planets. Anyway, it's stupid.
I'm a rock chick, not a science chick. I didn't know that.
I don't know. Johnny O might beg to differ.
Yes, he might. Okay, I'll have to say I'm a car chick then. Okay, let's go back to
Well, you're
cars.
that too, yes. You're many things. You're many things. And this last photo, I'll just share that.
I'm an Aussie rock chick then.
Okay.
Not a Canadian rock chick.
I
Clearly.
thought this was really interesting. This is actually a black and white picture, but they've drawn a grid of lines with different colors, and your brain, if you look closely within the squares, right, like you can see that that's actually a black and white bit right in the middle.
Okay.
But because it's surrounded by a blue square, you interpret all of this as a blue shirt.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Which is fascinating. That's the way our brains work. But it also shows you can't trust your eyes. And yet,
Oh, I never trust my eyes.
well, yeah. Well, sane people don't. They take measurements and things like that. But conspiracy nutters say, oh, you know, the Earth is flat because it looks flat. Well, how can you trust your eyes unless you measure it? Like LEO with the concave Earth out the bubble window, you know?
Hmm. Oh, that's amazing. That's a really clever photo, isn't it?
Yeah, I've never seen this before. I thought it was very interesting. But Axeman 3D says he's colorblind, so he's probably not seeing anything at the moment. Tell us what you are seeing, Axeman. You'll have to say it in the chat. Ugly German Truth says, because the majority of planets were named in antiquity and people thought these bright lights must be as powerful and ominous as gods, they continued the trend for the later discovered ones as humans like patterns. Yes, and he makes the point, the flat earth directly is an antique religious model. What an idiot. What else we got? The red shirts look a bit suspicious like the Croatian flag. Okay, I don't know what that means. Very muted colors, sort of yellowish. Okay, that's what a colorblind person sees.
Yeah. Okay.
All right then. So we've been going for an hour and a half, and that's as long as I was planning on going. I hope everyone enjoyed tonight. Thank you for those who gave super chats. Thank you to those who became channel members, and thank you to those who are already channel members. I appreciate every one of you. I'm promised that I'll be back a little bit more now that the move is out of the way and I'm back to normal somewhat.
You moved?
Yes, it was very traumatic, and I've still got lots of stuff to sort out. But at least I got my computer sorted out now, and I can start making videos and interacting with all of you again. Thank you, Naughty Aunty, for being my guest today. It's been a great pleasure.
My pleasure. It was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and if you're in the chat, I'd appreciate it if you all say thanks to the Naughty Aunty as well.
Oh, that was close.
Ugly German Truth says it means I see the effect with the grey and red squares only really clear on the red clothes. The others look way more uniform. Okay. He's got a different sort of colour blindness, I guess. Yep. All right. So that's about it for tonight. Ugly German Truth says I've moved wherever they pushed Australia to now.
A little closer to the sun.
Yes. Yes. Oh, we got a few thanks, Naughty Aunty. So great. We might have you back again.
No, don't make me seem more dumb, please.
No, well, we might do it. Well, we'll definitely have you back to do the rock quiz with Johnny O and see if you can trip him up. Got to make sure that he scores less than you did.
Yes.
You got 2 out of 10.
I can't be the only music idiot in the world.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Thank you for being my guest.
Bye,
and bye. And we will play the outro. I will see you with a new video next week for the second of the Taboo Conspiracy videos, and hopefully another one as well. I'll see you next time. So there's nothing left to do but cue the corgi.
You're despicable.